Let's go, Rider Nation.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, here we go. It's a feeling now. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low, 'cause we're dealing now. Everybody's giving it all they got, 'cause we're ready.
This is the Piffles podcast, your Saskatchewan Roughriders fan podcast. Thanks for joining us here this week. Episode 350. It's here. The first ever Piffy Awards. I'm so excited. As you can tell, we're dressed to the nines. Unfortunately, these are our nines, not anybody else's nines. So that's why you stuck with what we have.
See, we're just the nines, but we're like a Manitoba 12.
I think I
like
yeah.
it.
Surprised it's not a little bit higher, to be honest. Your Saskatchewan Roughriders fan podcast. Thanks for watching. We're live on Facebook, X, on YouTube as well. Thanks for watching. If you're watching it later on SaskTel Max TV on demand and listening wherever you get your favorite podcasts, we appreciate it. As always, you got me. I'm Alex.
I'm Steve.
And I just want to thank the people that came in for the technical Piffies before the television version started. Don't worry, Bill Belichick got an award because apparently the NFL voters are idiots.
I mean, really, though, Bill Belichick doesn't get into first ballot Hall of Fame in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When you lose 2 Super Bowls to Eli Manning, that kind of ruins any credibility you had before. So I understand it. I really do. This is like, wasn't it, who was it? Derek Jeter didn't get a unanimous vote into the Baseball Hall. Like, don't get me started on the Baseball Hall of Fame and the voting on there. But, like, come on, guys.
They got that one right. Bill Belichick can get in like 3rd, maybe 4th ballot.
Let's be honest. When it comes to these Hall of Fame ballots now, they are such a petty pissing match among reporters that are just sharpening old axes because they can.
Voters need to make their votes public.
100%. Because now every single one of these, now that it's come out, a bunch of guys are like, well, I voted for him. I don't know. Well, I don't know. So show your work. Let's see who voted for him, who didn't. Because right now it looks like Earl Hebner was counting the votes.
So you're saying that Bill screwed Bill?
Bill screwed Bill.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh as if I understand that reference.
We will have Hall of Fame references in today's show. So at least there's that. We have, I'm looking forward to this. Piffles podcast, of course, is brought to you by Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sask Drive in Regina. And special thanks as well to our other sponsors, Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tag Experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. The whole point of the Piffies is to celebrate the best of the best and the worst of the Riders and CFL from the 2025 calendar season. I think we should jump right to it.
Kick it off.
Let's do the Piffies.
Do it.
Time for the pomp and circumstance.
Brought to you from 2 basements and an upstairs office in beautiful Regina, Saskatchewan. It is the first ever Piffy Awards.
God, I love that so much.
Let's get started. Who is going to be taking home a golden meatball tonight? A golden meatball, if you know, you know. That's why it's a meatball. Long story. Don't have time for that because we're on a tight television schedule here with this. So let's kick things off with our first award of the night. This is a fan vote. Favorite Rough Rider play of the 2025 season. The nominees are the Grey Cup goal line stand, forced fumble by Tavon Campbell, recovered by Marcus Sales. Thank you, Shea Patterson, by the way. Tommy Neal, his West final touchdown to give the Riders the lead against BC with 11 seconds left. Mario Alford calls game in Toronto. the game of hot garbage, if you will, returning the kickoff for a game-winning touchdown to walk off the game. And Tavon Campbell's pick 2 in the Labor Day Classic against Winnipeg, putting the Riders up by 4 points with 30 seconds left. That might have been my favorite one, to be honest. But those are your nominees. The winner is Tommy Neal's West final touchdown to give the Riders the lead with 11 seconds left. I don't think there was much doubt. It was a pretty overwhelming fan vote on that one. Congratulations, Tommy Neal. You deserve it.
Not my choice.
Can I say they missed out the ballot casters didn't throw in AJ Ouellette's rundown on the Trevor Harris fumbleception? Was that against Ottawa, I believe?
It was in Ottawa.
That should have been on that list. That should have been an absolute candidate. But Tommy Neal, the Grey Cup stand should have won.
That was my choice too. I thought for sure the Grey Cup stand basically sealed the game. I thought for sure that was going to win, but then again, when you've got that entire drive and Tommy Neal with mere seconds left on the clock, I lost my voice after that play. So doesn't surprise me.
3 or 4 days, my throat hurt from screaming so loud. Just that whole, especially fourth quarter, Riders on defense too. So, Tommy Neal, congratulations. Not sure how much longer you're going to be a Rough Rider with free agency coming up next week. The Ed Hervey window opening up on Sunday. But you get the first ever Piffy Award, the first ever Golden Meatball. Congratulations, Tommy Neal.
Easily the most coveted thing he will win in the past 12 months.
Best trophy he's gotten.
Yep.
Well, let's get the show started. Time for the opening kickoff.
Oh, crap. I got too many videos to go. Too many buttons.
I'm trying to slow this down so you're ready for it.
I
know. Lots of news in Rider Nation. And you know what? Shout out to Craig Reynolds, Jeremy O'Day. Their change of focus in 2026. Announce the signings on Mondays and Tuesdays right before our show. They've done this 3 weeks in a row. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Craig.
That should get him a Piffy for kindest general or team president in 2025 for the Riders.
I have a sneaking suspicion one of them's going to be walking away with some type of award tonight.
And then there's also another award for another very prominent executive, I believe, coming up as well.
So the Riders making big moves. We'll start with, I think it's the biggest one, is signing offensive lineman Jacob Bramer. We all thought it was Brammer. Britton Gray, the CJME, posted that it's pronounced Bramer. So there we go. Everything I knew about the man, gone.
Jacob, you need to drop an M then. It'd be less confusing if you just get rid of one of the M's.
Right. And to me, this one, I mean, he was an all-CFL last year at right guard, which keeps that whole right side intact with Jamarcus Hardrick at tackle and then Logan Ferland, of course, at center. So those 3 all-CFL players, all-stars, keeping the continuity together, basically means we're still going to go 3 Americans on the offensive line.
At this point, you go with what got you there. And I hope they continue with at least the 3 Americans because we have the Canadian depth in other positions. Obviously, we're going to talk about one in a moment that likely flips back to Canadian in 2026. But I like it. And as long as Edwin Harrison's back there coaching them, I don't care who they sign, but you got to keep your all-stars, especially along the trenches.
Some of the best years the Riders had in the mid 2000s to the 2010s was when they could keep their offensive line together. So continuity on that line is important. So I'm looking forward to those 3. And then like you still got Daniel Johnson. You've got, I think Fry, you got guys that have played in the system that will fit right in. Plus you got new guys coming in as well.
And you have Peyton Collins still at left tackle as well, too. So 4 of your 5 starters are back for sure. And then your other one, your left guard, probably going to be a Canadian spot. I think they go back to that. We saw in the playoffs, they went with 4 Americans on the offensive line. I don't see that happening, at least to start the season. Not that it would be foolish to think to plan that way, I guess. But I think the plan is to go 2 Canadians and 3 Americans. So you have guys like Eric Anderson, Zach Fry, Daniel Johnson, and Dayton Black, who are under a contract right now. Those are your guys that you're looking at left guard. So give them all a shot and see who's the best, and let him join that star-studded offensive line and keep that ground game and pass protection dominating.
And whatever you do, Gio, don't like, as much as I like having Ferland at guard, just don't attempt signing a center this year. It's backfired you 2 years in a row.
It's kind of hard. Maybe we'll talk about this before training camp, but I don't think you can move Ferland away from center now.
No, he's kind of stuck there now. He's kind of stuck.
You don't touch an all-star when he's absolutely crushing at his position. Although he'd be an all-star at guard. Hell, he'd probably be an all-star at tackle. I feel like he might be an all-star at quarterback if you throw him back there. The guy can do no wrong.
I mean, our quarterback's hitting 40, so he might get a chance. Who knows? But that's the Jacob Bramer signing. The other big one was Nelson Lacombo. Obviously, bringing back a Canadian. The safety position. Some people are convinced CJ Rivas is coming back. I'm biting my tongue because I do not believe. I think there's maybe a 5% chance he's coming back. And I think that's being generous.
I think there's going to be at least one team that's going to offer CJ a fair good of money.
He deserves it.
And he deserves it. Hey, every
penny.
dollar. He deserves every dollar, every penny, every dime, whatever. He deserves whatever someone's willing to give him because he's that good a player. Unfortunately, yeah, it's going to come down to the ratio. The other, and this is not the option. Your other option is you can move Lacombo out to be Campbell's backup, but I have a feeling he's making more than any other Canadian backup would be anyways. So you're going Canadian safety, obviously. So we're kind of, yeah, CJ Rivas is probably out of the cards.
Corey Mace absolutely loves Nelson Lacombo. I think that plays a lot into it as well, too. And when I look at what they've done, bringing back Jaden Dalkey, bringing back Jackson Ford, if the plan was to stick with an American at safety and go with CJ Rivas, for example, back there, the way that they finished the year, they don't bring back both Ford and Lacombo.
No.
One for sure.
Not a chance.
Not both. So this tells me that it is a ratio flip again, which is more than fine. If something happens to Tavon Campbell, Nelson Lacombo goes out to corner, you bring in Jackson Ford at safety. So that's what this signing means to me. I mean, he's great on special teams, has the right passport, and I'm not ready to give up on a first-round pick just yet.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's been 6 years. That's a lot of time to give a guy. It is. He's coming back for his 6th season with the Riders.
Wow. One of them
doesn't feel like it.
Medicine balls.
But I'm with you. It's not time to give up on him yet. But I don't know if I like the idea of Nelson Lacombo back there. There's a reason we went away from it at the end of 2025. He got better, and he has been better over the last little bit, but he's still not a guy that anybody is afraid of when throwing over the middle. If you hear footsteps from Nelson Lacombo, you don't even flinch. You just keep running. You know, a guy, at least with CJ Rivas back there, you knew you were probably going to get hit, and you were going to feel it. So I trust Corey Mace. He knows what he's doing with his defense, but I don't know. I'm not sold on Nelson Lacombo.
And Kerry, yes, CJ Rivas did start up at linebacker, move back after, was it the Banjo Bowl that Lacombo got hurt?
Lacombo and Ford were both out, yeah, so I think it was Banjo Bowl, yeah.
But with Antoine Brooks looking so good in that Sam linebacker position.
So good.
I look at CJ Rivas, and this is not a slight on CJ Rivas at all, because the guy is top-tier talent in the CFL. There's no spot for him on this roster. I don't see how there is. With you have Sheldrick Redwine, you have Benny Sapp III. With who else you're going to have? Like, these guys are on rookie contracts, and they both showed really, really well last year. You got to save some money somewhere. This is probably part of like one of the moves that people aren't going to be happy with.
And
I
yes,
was just asking if you could move him back up to linebacker. I just don't see it when you look at the money they've thrown at Jameer Thurman and Roland Milligan. There's just no money back there to give to a guy, and he is going to get a raise, and a much deserved raise.
Yeah.
They can't afford to pay him the money he's going to be wanting. If you followed his social media at all, he's been very clear that it's going to be about the money for him. And it should be about the money for damn near every player. Their careers are short. Go earn every dollar you can. I hope it's here. I'd love Revis to be back. But at the money he's going to command, they just can't justify it anywhere in that defensive backfield.
Other signings over this last week, kicker Michael Hughes, who was with us for one game last year. He was 2 for 2. American kicker. But Brett Lother's bonus is due this upcoming Sunday, right after the Heritage or the Winter Classic hockey game. So I don't know if Lother's going to make it to, unless they restructure his contract. But at the very least, we want competition for Brett Lother, serious competition, not what we saw over the last 3-4 years. To me, this is. So at the very least, I think Lother actually finally has to look over his back.
I'm really shocked. Nothing has come out about him thinking about retirement. Like, you heard about Campbell thinking about retirement. You heard about Micah retiring. Harris thought about retiring. Like, how is Lother not going, guys, I wasn't good last year. It's probably not going to get any better. The fact that has not permeated out there. Like, I'm sure he's got a job with the Riders for life if he wants it, because he's such a good ambassador. Plus, he's got his work with the CFLPA. So I don't know. I'm kind of shocked right now that never kind of came out in the mix, that he was contemplating retirement.
But on the flip side, if you're Brett Lother, why would you contemplate it? At least wait until after your bonus is due. Again, it's whatever that bonus amount is, that's money in your pocket. Why force why make the decision for the team? If they want to bring him back and pay him that bonus, he can decide to retire any day after that. We've seen players do it.
It's
funny when they do it to, the Bombers like Darian Durant did.
And not so funny when Mo Price did it to us.
Right? Exactly. But why would he retire or even hint that that's a possibility? Let the team make their choice. If they want to bring him back and pay him that bonus, let them.
Force their hand. Absolutely.
Exactly. But how cold would it be to make him do the hockey game and then release him within 48 hours?
Yeah, the PR on that would not be nice.
No.
Other signings over the last week, a couple new defensive linemen, both defensive ends, Marcus Haynes and Justin JJ Weaver. Sure looks like we're not getting any defensive linemen back that are hitting free agency.
I think we also got to remember, I think there's a lot of guys, especially with the Hervey window, there's a lot of guys that want to see what's out there. So let them see the market. The Riders still have final say whether or not they will. Because just to remind people what happens here, the players can talk to teams can talk to players. If a team offers makes an offer, it is binding. And the Riders can match that offer if they so wish, or beat it, I guess. So you're going to have some guys looking to see what's out there, and they might poke their heads up, and there might be nothing there, so they might come back. Because I guarantee you, O'Day's got some pending offers with these guys, and they're close enough to the window now where they're going to see what's out there.
At this point, guys like that are they're training camp fodder until they prove otherwise. But I do agree with you. It looks like they're planning for an exodus and maybe hoping it doesn't happen, but you got to plan in case it does.
You say training camp fodder, they got to find at least 2 new guys on the D line for sure. So it doesn't sound like fodder to me.
And we also forget there's also guys we can sign out there too. It's just because we don't bring back all of our free agent doesn't mean there's other free agents out there that we can't look at.
You know, the funny thing about the whole free agency, I've barely looked to see what other
I've
free
barely
agents
looked either.
I'll do that next week when the Ed Hervey window opens. I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's a free agent. Oh, okay, maybe, sure.
Not gonna lie, I was having a conversation with someone. I started looking at running backs for no particular reason, just to see who was out there, and there's not a lot of options for both the player and the teams out there. Let's put it that way.
James Butler is out there. Greg Bell is out there. AJ Ouellette.
And that's the three, and then a bunch of we don't know yet. So.
And one other signing for the Riders was quarterback Jordan McLeod. Not that
I hope he makes the team. I want him to make the team so bad, just for the Rob Vanstone articles.
Does this mean Jake Mayer's gone?
No, I don't think them signing another training camp guy has anything to do with Jake Mayer. I think Jake Mayer is gone regardless. I don't think this signing affects that at all.
So the Riders be players in free agency for backup quarterback, a Dustin Crum, Taylor Powell type guy?
I think that's exactly what they do.
Like I said today on X, I think Taylor Powell is probably the most intriguing guy out there, considering Hamilton just signed another quarterback and re-upped Dalagala. So they're expecting Powell, obviously, to at least hit the window. So I'm very curious to see where Powell ends up. I think he kind of reminds me of Arbuckle. When Arbuckle came out, everyone thought Arbuckle was going to be the next guy. I think he's got the tools. I don't know if I think he's going to be very Arbuckle-ish. I think he's going to be fine in a pinch, but I don't think he's going to be a star.
Well, there's the signings over the last week. More to come in the opening kickoff, but it is time to give out another Piffy Award. Do one of you want to do this one?
This is a unanimous one. This is an achievement award. Most likely to confuse a football with an elbow. Congratulations, Amar Doman. Hard fought, well deserved, and I forgot to hit the drum roll. I'm sorry, because I was so excited to get this one out there.
My favorite category.
Great category.
I hope we see some better nominees next year. You know, you need to see some competition in some of these awards, and he ran away with it. Really did.
Hopefully there's just better screens next year for him to screen cap and blow up and see what's going on.
The worst part is there were so many angles of that replay, and it was very obvious in the side replay the football was nowhere near where he was circling on the other angle. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
But how's he going to get fan outrage if he doesn't use the one camera angle that was using a potato to take the image?
Congratulations, Amar Doman, our second Piffy.
The only trophy he got this year.
Ooh. Grey Cup Tour begins on February 7th in Humboldt. The Riders are going to go around the province with the Grey Cup. A lot of guys are just kind of getting their day with the Cup now. And talked to Sam Emelis this past week. He was also on the Sports Cage earlier in the week, and he said he's going to take it back to Montreal and eat poutine out of the Grey Cup because he's going to do something that the Alouettes didn't do, and that's bring home the Cup this year. So,
ooh, I like it.
I actually and the worst part is I hate to blow up his spot. He's the second. Yes, it's Montreal poutine, but I know for a fact Logan Ferlin already had Leo's poutine out of the Grey Cup. There's a bunch of pictures of that.
I hope to God he goes to La Banquise in Montreal because that place is fantastic. Oh, thanks, Cliffy, for taking me there twice.
So, in and around, people are wondering when the Grey Cup's going to come to your town or city. Starting on February 7th. They haven't put out any more dates than that yet, but they'll probably have a schedule come out here in the next week, I'd imagine, and get out there and go see some of your probably Sasky talent that won the Grey Cup that are going to be traveling with it. So should be a good day for each community that it goes to. Now, speaking of Sasky talent, that brings us to our next award. Steve?
The fan vote for the favorite Sasky player, the favorite Sasky talent. Your nominees this year are Logan Ferland, Mitch Picton, Jackson Ford, Jorgen Hoos, or Noah Zur. And the winner is Logan Ferland. Don't think this one is a shock. I'm surprised this one wasn't
Wow.
unanimous.
I gotta admit, this was a little
Academy.
closer than I expected. Who's had a lot of support. If you put a gun to my head, I thought Picton would have been a close second. It turns out people like their special long snappers in this province.
Long snappers are people too.
Yes.
Kickers aren't, but the snappers are. There was no doubt with this one. Logan Ferland, I mean, come on. The guy is an absolute stud. That's all I got to say.
Good dude. And that's the reason why I have my picture with the Grey Cup when he brought it to the Thunder Clubhouse for their Christmas party. So.
Congratulations, Logan Ferland. You are...
And if this trophy actually existed, it's probably going to be bigger than the Lyman trophy that you didn't get last year.
Logan, you are Rider fans' favorite Sasky talent. Mentioned already the Rough Riders Foundation Winter Classic charity hockey game in Saskatoon this upcoming Saturday. If you're in Saskatoon and area, head out to that. Obviously, if they're raising funds for the Rough Rider Foundation, that's a good thing. Team Lothar versus Team Getzlaff. Chris Getzlaff with I think Andy Fantuz is going to be there. Mike Commodore, Mike Sillinger, a couple former NHLers as well. And they'll have other players are showing up to play, and ones that won't play will be signing autographs as well. I think Joe is coaching Team Getzlaff, and KSB, Kean Schaefer-Baker, is coaching Team Lothar.
There's going to be a lot of passion on those benches. I like it.
Fired up. Which coach is going to talk more? Like, which one's going to be like the Don Cherry and just not shutting up the entire
Those are the two energy guys.
It's going to be a Joe, and it's not even going to be close. Come on.
Okay, best dressed. Joe as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, if you're in Saskatoon or area, go head out, check that out on Saturday. It's going to be nice for once here in Saskatchewan, so that'll be a good day to go out and head out to the rink. We got another Piffy Award to give out. This one here is for your Unsung Hero Award. Now, this is a special award. I think we each get to give one out here. This is pretty prestigious. To help the Riders win the Grey Cup, obviously, yes, you have your Sam Emilus putting up 100 yards in the Grey Cup. You have your Grey Cup MVP with Trevor Harris. They get all the accolades, all that kind of stuff. This is for somebody who, throughout the season, into the playoffs, however you guys want to take it, helped the Riders get there and did stuff to help win a Grey Cup here in Saskatchewan. So let's give out our 2025 Unsung Hero Awards. Gentlemen?
I'm going to go with an easy one. Edwin Harrison, that offensive line. I knew I had to get it before Steve did. I had to get it. That's why I went first.
I hate you.
We talk about it all the time. Like, if there was a assistant coach of the year award, he's the obvious guy that should be getting it, because it doesn't matter if they're flying in a guy from Auburn the week of the game. He's got his players ready to go.
Shout out Brandon Council.
And he's part of the reason why Harris stayed upright most of the time this year, and our running game was actually looked fairly decent this year. So you got to give Harrison a good shout out on that one.
I mean, is it really an unsung hero award if we talked about him nonstop for the last?
We are the
years?
only ones, and no one listens to us. That was why.
That's right. Our 7 listeners are not paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I don't know if it's off the board, but a little sideways. I'm going to go with Antoine Brooks Jr. And for me, the biggest reason isn't just his standout play, because he was phenomenal when he got on the field and had his opportunity. But because of how well he played, he allowed us to move CJ Rivas back to safety and give us that added depth in our defensive backfield that was absolutely necessary in the playoffs last year. So for me, he's one of those guys, you get your big names, your Tommy Nields, your, those kind of fringe big name guys, but you didn't hear a lot of love for Antoine Brooks Jr., so he's going to get some for me.
Mine is somebody that you probably didn't hear his name called at all last season, and that's a good thing. We mentioned him already, Jorgen Hughes, our long snapper. When you have a bad long snapper, you know it. You have a good one, you don't notice it. And that's like not saying his name, not giving him public accolades. That itself is kind of public accolades. That means you're doing your job well. And name me one snap we've had of his over the last how many years that has been disaster. I can't think of one.
How nervous are you that he's contemplating retirement right now? Because I'm got to admit, I'm a little nervous.
Fairly, yes, I'm fairly nervous. Was reading up on Rider fans, and someone was mentioning that Seth Hundeby, draft pick from last year, coming into camp this year, linebacker, he did some long snapping for the Huskies. So maybe there's the backup plan. I'm not sure. But
Carry that Husky snapping lineage or what?
Exactly. Yep. We'll see. I don't know. If Jorgen Hughes does decide to retire, that'll be one of the training camp battles that is going to be really interesting that no one's going to talk about. So there are our unsung hero awards for 2025. One more thing here in the opening kickoff, and it's an anniversary. Got to give an anniversary shout out to our guy, Ed Hervey. Thank you for giving us the Ed Hervey tampering window. Greg, 6 years ago, you coined that name.
I did. Half an hour after the thing was announced, I just said, let's just call it what this is, the Hervey window. And 6 years later, it is actually stuck outside of this podcast. Other people have finally picked it up to the point where 3 Down asked Hervey what he thinks about it. And just surprised no one, 3 Down forgot to mention where it came from. Hodge, not impressed. Dunk, not good. I just asked for a little bit of flowers my way, and I get nothing.
So one of the few times you'll ever hear me say this, Greg was right.
Thanks, Steve. See, brotherhood and celebration is what the Piffies are all about.
No one's getting
Cheers.
up slapping anybody in the face yet. Anyway, this is real connection here with the Piffies. Glad to see it. I'm so glad to see it. You guys
Cheers
look good
to the
tonight,
eye.
by the way.
Oh, yeah, very, very, very good. Speaking of which,
I like your bow tie better.
Other good jobs. Yeah, your tie is on point.
Thank you.
But there's also another good job we need to discuss. Hated despite doing a great job.
Ooh.
There's only one answer to this one, and that is General Manager Jeremy O'Day. I don't know what this man needs to do. He just won a Grey Cup, and people still hate this man.
I don't get it. I'll be honest. I was one that, when Craig Dickinson was let go at the end of 2023, that said, clear house completely. Complete culture change, despite some of the talent that he's brought in. I'm glad I was wrong on that. He was able to hire his own head coach and do a proper head coaching search, knock that one out of the park, and then a year after that brings a Grey Cup home. There's nobody that bleeds green more than Jeremy O'Day right now. Like, you can tell that this he's given how much of his life to this team, this organization, and he's been a part of 3 Grey Cup championships. Like, that's Richie Hall level numbers right there. That's impressive. the flack he still gets, yes, we're going to lose some free agents. We're going to lose some pretty big name free agents, some pretty popular free agents. People are going to hate him for that. But if he delivers yet again, brings in more players that people end up loving, not sure how you can be mad at that.
Jeremy O'Day has been a Rough Rider over half his life. He's 51. He's been a Rider since 99.
Yep.
Jeez. That's a little terrifying, but I like it. And what's funny is come February 15th, the amount of hate you're going to see, the amount of vitriol that's going to be thrown his way because he didn't sign AJ Ouellette or he didn't sign CJ Revis is going to be almost comical. People are going to forget the Grey Cup ever happened. And I'm going to bring up a comment here. Somebody said, Kerry says, O'Day needs to show up at signings to fan events. I disagree entirely with that. I never want to see our GM. He should be behind the scenes, signing guys, doing his job. Your president is your front of the team guy. I mean, I'd like a guy with a little more personality than Craig Reynolds, maybe, but you get what you get. And we saw those ads a few years back from the Riders. Craig Reynolds knocked those out of the park with his roles in them. But I don't want to see Jeremy O'Day at those things. There's no good could come from him being a public face, other than the actual job he does.
Well, Jeremy O'Day getting a Piffy Award for the most likely to be hated despite being great at their job. It's a good category. But that's the opening kickoff presented by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level. Before we get to Remember That Guy, we got to give out another Piffy Award. There's a lot of Piffy Awards we got to give out. This one is there was some debate in the Academy for this one. The best first name to have to be signed by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Options were Tommy or Thomas, because there's 3 of them. AJ, there's 2 of those. We have a couple Marcuses, but we also have a DeMarcus and a Jermarcus. Mario, Braden with multiple spellings, and Sean. Sean, Deshaun, Sean, Keyshawn. So are you allowed reiterations of names? For example, Marcus, can you add DeMarcus and Jermarcus and it still counts? We had a debate about this.
The Academy had troubles with this one. This was a heated Academy debate. I think we came to a fair conclusion.
Fists almost flew. It was close.
So, the Piffy Award goes to...
Oh, crap. I need more buttons.
It's a tie. We have a tie with Marcus being in DeMarcus and Jermarcus and Sean. So if you want to make your name as a Saskatchewan Rough Rider, make your name Marcus or Sean. And you have a good shot at making the team and winning a Grey Cup. So that's 8 Piffy Awards going out to Sean's and Marcus's. Good thing we're not paying for these. Jeez, that's a lot of trophies.
Yeah, I'd say check. If you don't see it in the mail, just keep on waiting.
As soon as the price of stamps comes down, we'll get them out there.
Yeah. Well, let's get to Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tag Experience. Greg is going to pick a player from Saskatchewan Rough Riders history, give us some hints, and we have to guess who it is. Greg, how many Van Stones is it this week?
I think it's a 3. I think you might get it. It might take a few, but I think you're going to get it.
Okay, well, let's remember that guy. Is it Dennis Guile?
It is not Dennis Guile. I almost did Dennis Guile, and I'm like, because I knew this was going to be a long show, and I'm like, I don't want to end it on the Piffies. It's just not
if
fair.
There's ever a guy that deserves a Piffy Award, it's Dennis Guile.
For what exactly?
Don't know. We'll figure it out for next
We'll
year.
figure it out. We just gave our Mardoman one for not knowing what a football looks like. So I'm sure we can come up one for Dennis Guile.
We can get one.
Best quarterback with the name Dennis Guile is probably the most likely award for him.
You laugh. I'm writing that down right now.
Started his college career as a non-scholarship middle infielder at USC.
Tom Brady.
No. If he was a Rider, oh my lord. Transferred to El Camino Community College after one semester where the football coach recruited him to play football. Led the NCAA in completions and passer rating in 1996 for BYU. Has called LA, Oakland, Seattle, Tuscaloosa, Atlanta, and Austin home. I thought that one might trigger something with you guys. In 2 seasons,
Steve Sarkisian?
It is Steve Sarkisian.
Yes.
2 seasons with the Riders, he had 2,894 passing yards, 20 TDs, and 25 interceptions. He's a Big 12 champion, a 2-time national champion, a 3-time Pac-10 champion, 2-time SEC champion, and won the Broyles Award for Best Assistant Coach in the NCAA. And he really is the picture of those who can't do coach. Because,
He's won everywhere except Saskatchewan.
100%.
It's been kind of fun following along his college and post-Rider career. It's gone a long way. You got to give him a little bit of love. But, yeah, his time as a Rider quarterback was forgettable.
I got denied an interview request for him when I worked on the Green Zone, so he'll always have a special place in my heart for that one anyway.
To be fair, good call. Good call. It's just wild how far his college career has gone. And the thing that blows me away, usually these guys that have a little bit of NCAA success, everyone's talking about them jumping up to the NFL. You never hear his name in the NFL. He did that little stint with Atlanta as was a quarterback's coach, and that was it. Like he's never gone back. He's stuck to the college ranks.
And why wouldn't you with the money he's made? And he has clearly found his niche. Why take that chance to go up only to get fired and maybe lose your path back down? Good on him for knowing his limit.
Steve Sarkisian here on Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience. Time for another Piffy. Steve, do you want to take this one away?
Which one?
I can do this one.
Love to hate. I was like, which one is it? There it is.
Yeah.
There we go. So it's another Piffy fan vote. Your favorite CFL player that you love to hate. And this year's nominees are Nathan Rourke. Congratulations on your 2-year contract extension. We hate you for another 2 years. Zach Calero.
Is it his time, though? Is it his time? We'll find out.
It is not his time. Caleros, Cody Fajardo, Bo Levi Mitchell, Willie Nelson, Willie Jefferson.
Oh, man. Turn out the lights, Steve.
That's what happens when you take 2 weeks off.
On the
Chad
road again.
Kelly and Micah Awe.
So
And this year's winner. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, the last ones, that was actually, they were write-in votes.
Yep.
It was other. And those were some that got votes.
Got some love, yeah. Or some hate. Some hate love. I don't know what you'd call it there. And the winner this year is...
Oh, even a prop.
Even brought them
Prop.
here. Wow.
You know what? It's been good luck since I got this at the Banjo Bowl this year. The Bombers have been going straight down, and we've been going straight up.
So the Steve curse works with bobbleheads?
It apparently works great for opposing teams.
That's
So I have another one in there. I can't remember who it is. This guy with the Argos, and his career pretty much ended after he got his bobblehead. So
We got to get you a Nathan Rourke bobblehead.
Was it Darrell Walker? Because I got a Darrell Walker bobblehead here.
Really?
it might have been.
Yeah.
Like from his Edmonton days?
No, from his
Oh, it
Argos.
was his Argos days.
Oh,
Yeah. Also, Carrie, this is not black coffee. It's Coke and Bigfoot vodka. I mean, might explain the Willie Nelson.
Someone who got a lot of votes was Bo Levi Mitchell. And I'll be honest, I forgot about him completely. When I was
So did I, until I saw him written in. I'm like, oh, he's got a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out that I should have remembered that. But since he went from Calgary to Hamilton, that hate for him just isn't there anymore. It's not on, a big rival anymore. And it's Hamilton. So he's not going to win, right? So it's kind of lost its luster with him going there. And also, everybody knows I love the guy, right? What is it?
We've seen the picture.
What's the old saying? How's it described? I'm horny for the rat, I think.
Yes, that's exactly how it was described. Exactly.
So, So Bo didn't get his way on here by himself. He got a write-in vote. Got quite a few votes, actually. I'm surprised Chad Kelly didn't get more votes than that. He got a few, but
people don't love to hate him. They hate him. There's a difference.
But
at
I
least you can respect Bo Levi Mitchell and Willie Jefferson and Zach Calera. There's some respect in that hate. I don't think anybody respects Chad Kelly.
I think Chad Kelly, though, is a lot of out of sight, out of mind with him not playing at all last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of fans just kind of forgot about him.
And this one wasn't particularly close. Calera, I think it was like 60% voted for Zach Caleros on this one. So people still hating on Winnipeg, which I love to see. Probably in a couple of years, that'll switch to a Nathan Rourke, which would not surprise me whatsoever. But Zach Caleros, hashtag once a rider. Congratulations on your Piffy Award this year.
I actually think that is going to be next year. I think Nathan Rourke is probably the odds-on favorite. I'm putting him at like plus 200 next year to win that award.
Well, we got some odds to look at right now too, so that's a good segue. Let's get to our Churchill Brewing Company odds and end zones. And the Montreal Alouettes are the FanDuel way too early favorites to win the Grey Cup at plus 270. To put that into perspective, the Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders are plus 600.
Behind BC.
BC is 500.
Oh, well.
I'm very curious to see what happens now that Davis Alexander's lost a football game. Because you see a lot of guys who have that kind of a streak.
No.
And
He's
once it
still
ends-
undefeated. He's still perfect in the regular season. We're going to hear that.
He's lost a game and he knows it. He knows he's not unbeatable now. And you see it all the time where they fall off after that. I'm curious to see if that happens to the Alouettes, although they have the advantage of playing in the East with, Ottawa, Toronto. There's a reason that list is very West heavy at the top.
Yeah, so
Well, Toronto's sitting in fourth, which also has me confused. But I guess with the East, someone's got to win the East, right?
they love
That's exactly what that is. If you're in the East, you're one win away from the Grey Cup by having a half decent season.
Yeah, Calgary's at 700, Winnipeg at plus 900. Hamilton, this one's kind of interesting. I'm not going to throw any money on it, but I would sprinkle a little bit on plus 950 for Hamilton.
That's the most intriguing one to me. You're talking about one game to make the Grey Cup. Hamilton at plus 950, that's real money right there.
So you're not going to throw any money on Edmonton at plus 1900?
I mean, that number's outrageous, which is kind of worth a bet, but no, I'm going to hold on to my money. And Ottawa at plus 1100. That's a terrible organization.
The fact that Edmonton is that much worse than Ottawa, that blows my mind. I think Edmonton's a better franchise with some better players.
But one game in the
didn't Woody get the dead cat bounce on that one? Like, that is just mind blowing.
Yeah, I don't mind the Riders at 600. Put them down to 700. Actually, why not? Let those odds drop a little bit, and we'll throw some money on that. speaking of money, the salary cap going up $218,159 for every team due to growth, revenue growth in the CFL. So the salary cap is going to be $6,062,365 for this upcoming season. And the good news is they actually announced it before the Ed Hervey tampering window. So teams can actually go and budget for that, not like they kind of threw it in the middle of the tampering window last year. And teams are like, we've already, because it's binding contracts that you're offering these guys, like we've already submitted our contracts. Like, what the hell? You're telling me we had $400,000 more and I could have gotten a different player instead, or kept a player. So good on the league and the PA for getting that out sooner rather than later this year.
And I think we all saw this one coming with some of the contracts that have been going out over the last month or so. Like seeing receivers making above $300,000, multiple guys, that's crazy money for the CFL at that position. So I think GMs had an idea that a hefty raise was coming.
So that amount, $218,159 for the Riders. To me, that says that they have an extra $436,318 to play around with, especially when you're raking in some Grey Cup money. Spend until you lose a draft pick to the penny. So go as far as you can. If that's the difference between keeping a CJ Rivas and not, then make sure you're doing it. We mentioned Nathan Rourke signing for 2 more years in BC as well. And I think that coincides, just a couple days after the salary cap goes up. That's not surprising to me at all. That probably gives them a trend of where they think the salary cap is going to go over the next couple of years. He remains the highest paid player in the league. And I mean, he won the MOP. He's the most outstanding Canadian from the last year. So deservedly so. But BC's got a lot of money tied up in just a couple players.
I'm really curious where
Matthew Betts.
I'm really curious to see where they end up on the salary cap again this year. They are going to be very close to, I think, that losing a draft pick again. They're definitely in fine territory. Mm-hmm. I'm very curious on how close they are again.
I'm very curious to see how much marketing money Nathan Rourke's new contract was this year, because that was the huge outrage with his last deal where you made, was it $200,000+ a year in just marketing dollars that was not capped at all? That was when the outrage for the entire marketing money thing kind of hit the head. And I'm looking forward to seeing when that contract comes out.
I think in terms of the BC, they don't have a lot of guys that go out and do signings and whatnot. Nothing like you see here in Saskatchewan. So when you see Nathan Rourke getting $200,000 for that, yes, he's the franchise player. He's the face of the CFL, whether you like it or not, that he is. You're not going to see that kind of number in a Rider contract. I don't think you will anyway, because it's spread out over so many of those players. They do so many different signings going around to schools, and it's not just the same. I mean, you have a lot of the 4 or 5 guys that go out all the time, but throughout the year, there's 15, 20 guys that are out doing things, slinging coffee around, handing out blizzards, whatever it is, right? Like there's a whole bunch of Riders doing that. So I think in terms of where we see it with the green and white, they spread it out a little bit more than just handing it all over to one guy. So what do you think? Should we do another Piffy award?
I think so.
The answer for that is always yes.
We skipped one, so are we going back to that one, or are we going to the next?
Skip one? We did. Yes. Well, let's go back to that. We'll do back-to-back Piffies here. We'll start with the Clutch Performer Award. This will be one where, again, much like the Unsung Hero, we're each going to get one. So, Steve, why don't you take the reins on this one? Who is your Clutch Performer of the year for 2025 for the Rough Riders?
Well, he's already been a nominee in a previous award, but I'm going to give my love to Tavon Campbell. He's that guy that he made a bunch of big plays, but he made big plays in big moments. You look back to that Labor Day pick 2 as kind of the obvious shining example, but he always seemed to be there when the defense needed that big stop or that big play to get his interception. So he's my guy.
Campbell was the guy in the Grey Cup that knocked the ball out that Sales jumped on.
Had an interception as well too. Yeah.
If I'm going to go next, I'm going to have to go Tommy Neild. Anytime there needed to be a big catch, especially in that West final, Tommy Neild was the guy. He always seemed to be the guy that Harris, especially on those late drives, just leaned on because Myers was covered and Johnson was covered or Robustelli. Neild was the guy to go to, and he always came with a big catch in the clutch.
Had that in the Grey Cup as well, getting him down to the 1 yard line to set up one of the Tommy Stevens touchdown runs, which will be illegal in Farhan Lalji's future CFL. And it's funny you say Dante Myers, Greg, being covered, because he is my Clutch Performer Award, because right before that Tommy Neild touchdown, it was the Dante Myers catch that set him up. It was the Dante Myers catch at the end of the first quarter in the Grey Cup when the Riders were down 7-1, finally got the offense rolling. It was always him that provided that spark. Games in BC, big touchdowns there in that game. This was a guy who just, whenever you needed a spark, a big play, something like that, he was there. Dante Myers was always there. And we will definitely miss that as long as he's in Cincinnati. But if he finds his way back up here, we'll get that back. So there's our Piffy Awards for Clutch Performer of the Year in 2025. Well, Greg, should we do the next one? Do you want to do the honors?
The favorite rider category fan vote.
Yes.
The nominees are AJ Ouellette, Kian Schaefer-Baker, Trevor Harris, or other, where there were some write-ins. However, overwhelmingly, I'm in charge of the drums. Number 45 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts as the favorite rider by the fan vote.
For now.
We're going to talk about it in a bit, so let's just get into it. This is probably going to be his first and last Piffy as a favorite rider, if we're going to be honest. I've been hinting at it on social media for a while now, so I'm just going to say it. He's not happy with the contract offer, from what I've been hearing from people I know close to the situation. It is going to take basically the market shrinking to nothing, probably, for him to come back, or the Riders massively changing their offer, because it was not exactly AJ friendly. So, cue people being mad at Jeremy O'Day.
Yeah.
If there's one position you don't throw a boatload of money at, it is running back at this point, unless you have a guy like Brady Oliveira, who is a ratio breaking MOP candidate. This is a cost saving spot, and I hate to see him go, but it's the nature of the beast, nature of the game.
To me, it's a shame, because this guy was born to be a Rough Rider. His hard-nosed work ethic, his his persona, everything about him that you see on the field, off the field, that just screams Saskatchewan. It screams Saskatchewan Rough Rider to me. There's a reason why I picked him for my latest jersey that I had, like this. But he's also going to be 31 this upcoming season.
If you look at the free agent running backs, actually all the starting running backs, Butler's the oldest and AJ was the second oldest.
So that is a knock against him, is his age. But he did just have a career year as well too. He's the pass blocking running back in the league. So there are a few things you can't replace. That one just might be one of them, the pass blocking, and that's huge. There's a couple times where he picked up blitzes that don't show up on any stat screen at all. But if it gives Trevor Harris that extra half second to throw a ball, that's the difference between a potential forced fumble, a strip sack, and a touchdown pass.
And I should also mention he is scheduled for surgery this coming week for, I believe, his ankle.
Yeah.
So, running back on a bad wheel, yes, surgeries are great. Medical science has improved. Still not ideal.
Yeah. From the team standpoint, it makes sense on the field to move on from him. But it sucks because this guy, I mean, you want to talk about marketing dollars and getting things around. AJ Ouellette is a guy that you need to market.
Yep.
And he's done commercials with Logan Ferland that are all over TV. I mean, they have other guys, Keen Schaefer Baker, that can kind of slide into a role to be that big marketing bonanza for the Rough Riders. But with how this vote went, and I was surprised that Keen Schaefer Baker wasn't even close.
Yep.
To Ouellette in this one. I knew Ouellette was going to win this one, but I didn't think it would be a landslide victory like he had. Trevor Harris was closer to Ouellette than KSB was, which was a little bit surprising to me, to be honest.
Well, when you only have
QB2 in Saskatchewan that gets all the love, not QB1.
That's true.
Well, when you only have 5 Grey Cup winning quarterbacks, yeah,
tend to lean their way a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Ouellette's back.
I'm not saying it's a never, but
No.
I would tend to believe he's not back next year.
So congratulations on the Piffy Award, AJ. Probably, like Greg said, probably the first and last one you're going to get as a favorite current Saskatchewan Rough Rider. Brew us wrong, though. Other CFL news, Dakota Shepley talking about #once a rider. Dakota Shepley, offensive lineman, returns to the CFL after 6 or 7 years down in the NFL.
2018, 2019, yeah,
2019, I think, was his last year here. Signs in Toronto as the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. Okay, you're putting all your eggs in the basket of a guy who has not played in this league in that long and didn't really
hasn't played that much in general.
Yeah, like
tell me Pinball Clemens doesn't care about being GM anymore without telling me Pinball Clemens doesn't care about being GM anymore. Like, this contract blows my mind. I like Dakota. He's not
I think he'll be
highest paid. Yeah, but he's not highest paid offensive lineman worthy.
Not even close.
What's he proven?
I loved him here in Saskatchewan. He was was he our outstanding rookie?
I think so, in 2018.
Yeah. A solid guy, but I was shocked when he went down south. It felt pretty early, and what has he done since then to warrant such a gigantic? I'm glad that it wasn't here. I don't get it, but again, go get that money.
I just looked up his stats. How many games do you think he played in the CFL?
16.
He played 1 year with the Riders. How many games do you think he played?
13.
He played all 18 games.
Oh, okay.
How many games do you think he played in the NFL?
Definitely
7?
not that many.
16 games.
How many of them were on the actual offensive line?
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what? Good for him for getting the bag. We talk about players doing that.
Absolutely.
And I will always reference Drew Remenda said it all the time about contract negotiations. Your contract is not what you're worth. It's what you negotiate.
He has 26 snaps in his NFL career.
Good for him. Get that money. Love it.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
impressive.
That might be the biggest dollar per snap contract. Who's that quarterback that was with New Orleans? Used to be Used to be on the Riders neg list.
Chase Daniel.
Yeah. Who went down south and made more money than you could imagine, never seeing the field.
The best QB2 of all time.
20. He didn't take a single snap this year. That's nuts.
But Dakota Shepley back in the CFL in Toronto. Time for another Piffy. And this one, there's some serious candidates for this one. This is the most likely to list an obscure stat that no one else has ever even heard or knows about. Do have to say apologies to our good friend Gove, owner of Rider Fans, because he would be right up here with this one.
He was in the running. He was in the running.
So was Derek Taylor, former voice of the Riders, of course, voice of the Bombers now. If there's anybody who knows numbers and stats, it's him. But you have nothing, DT, on the winner. And the winner is?
Sorry, I'm in the comments.
One job, Greg.
The comments are buzzing tonight. I can't help that.
Who else could this winner be? It's Rob Vanstone, Riders historian, senior columnist as well, too, on Riderville. I mean, if there's a stat about the Riders, Rob knows it. Rob might be the only person that knows it, but Rob knows it.
A lot of times he'll give us stats, and I assume he's made them up, and he just makes things up as he goes. And sure enough, every time, if you go looking, you have to dig, but you will find out that he is, in fact, correct every single time.
I remember that guy was going to work at the CFL Combine when I stumped Rob Vanstone in person with the first ever remember that guy. I'm like, I'm on to something here. Because if I can fool that man, you two guys are easy.
So congratulations, Rob Vanstone. I don't think that's going to be his last Piffy. I think over the years, he might be the one with the most, to be honest.
You'll have
he's never losing that one.
Yeah. You'll have an entire shelf full of meatballs.
Yeah.
Which will he have more of at the end of his career? Grey Cup rings or Piffies?
I hope it's Grey.
I hope Grey Cup rings. I really hope it's Grey Cup rings.
Right now they're tied.
Oh, hey. Good on him.
One other thing, and talking about stats, this is a segue back to the last thing we're going to talk about here in the odds and end zones. Really quickly, the BC Lions releasing Micah Alway, the linebacker, leading the league in tackles. So many tackles. I think tackles are a misleading stat. And I think Micah Alway is the most overrated player in the league. Now, don't confuse overrated with bad. Overrated does not mean he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. But when you look at the tackle numbers, when you're leading by that much, are you making a lot of plays? Or are they coming to you? When you look at, I don't have the CFL ones in front of me. I'm not going to get them up right now. But look at the top NFL tackle leaders, the top 5, awful defenses. Awful. They're just on the field too damn long. When you're getting 6-7 yards a play and your linebacker is the one making that stop there after 6 or 7 yards, they're going to do the same play over and over again. And your linebacker. So nothing against the player, but I think tackles are such a misleading stat.
I think tackles on defense and quarterback wins are the two most overblown stats you will ever see in football. Because quarterback wins is a garbage stat. And don't get me wrong, I've used it before to try to make my point a few times, but it really is a useless stat. Yes, quarterbacks have a very important part of the game, but it's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if your quarterback throws for 400 yards. If your defense lets up 600, you're still going to lose. So,
okay. Well, there we go. That's the odds and end zones. before we get to, we only have 2 Piffy Awards left. Before we get to our free agent preview, let's do one of these Piffies. And this, Greg, I hinted it at last week.
It's a Lifetime Achievement Award.
He was going to make an appearance. Steve, do you want to do the honors on this one?
I feel like it's only right that I do the honors on this particular one, given my history with this winner. But as what's that?
Do you want the drums for it?
Yeah. The Lifetime Achievement Award winner for Rider Nation's biggest enemy. Twice a rider, but forever our nemesis. Smiling Hank himself, Henry Burris. There has never been a player that you love to hate more in this league than Henry Burris. And we loved to hate him. Those games against Calgary in their heyday were some of the most incredible games of football, just from an atmosphere perspective, that you will ever see. That Grey Cup 2013, the Grey Cup, just because it had Henry Burris in it, was made that much better. So Henry Burris, I don't think anybody could ever take this award away from that man.
2013 Grey Cup. You want to ask me my favorite play? Is it the Sheets taking that fumble, Durant fumble for 40 yards? Was it his long run? Was it the pass to Giroy? No, it's Henry Burris looking like an idiot as the ball goes flying past him. Doing, what just happened? What just happened?
And then the look, and then blaming his center before thinking about maybe going to recover the football in the biggest game of the year. And Adam Stewart, you were absolutely correct. He loved every minute of being hated. He ate it up, and it made it that much more enjoyable for everybody. Because it was a hate. Like, you see some guys, we've talked about this, that you actually genuinely hate them. There was no real hate for Henry Burris. It was not deeper than that. The opposite. We loved it. We loved every second of it. The rivalry was just so strong that you couldn't help but hate the guy. Oh.
Helps when he was playing at the top of his game in Calgary for all those years against us, and there were some big time battles. ABC vibes. That's right.
That rivalry with Calgary, when it basically supplanted the Winnipeg rivalry, that was a fun time to be a Rider fan. Like,
well, it went from
Winnipeg,
BC,
yeah,
and then it was BC and Calgary. It was the start of the switch to Calgary, because Calgary sucked for all those years that BC was good, and then Calgary became good. They became our biggest rival. We played them in the playoffs, beat them every time. When it mattered,
Thanks,
really.
Chris gets left.
Yes. But like that was, and then you transition now obviously with Winnipeg, but those seasons with Henry Burris, I'm like, what you talk about the atmosphere. There is nobody that deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award for being hated on by Rider Nation than Henry Burris.
There was one name to me that could have been close, and we got the chance to talk to him when we were on our trip out east. Wally Buono would have been the other one. And you mentioned those BC games. Wally Chance and Henry Chance were unmatched. You just don't see that anymore. We need to find another two-name player that we hate like that, because you can't really chant Zach. It's just boring. Right? It's coming. Or
but go back to ABC time. That's also John Cornish time as well, and he was easy to despise as well.
Yeah,
you had both Henry and John Cornish.
Full moon tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, but that was different. You genuinely disliked John Cornish. I don't think people hated Henry Burris the person.
No, never.
One
of the nicest.
Adam Stewart is looking into the future.
Ooh. It's possible, but it's not the same though. If a guy gets a lowball contract or whatever and then leaves, it's different than a Henry Burris who says, I want to be here. This is we got so close in the 2004 West Final, and then goes for more money, and the guarantee of being a starter obviously was a big thing. Didn't want to have to compete with Neil on Green, but when you basically shun a fan base like he did, that has a lot to play into it. I don't think that's something that AJ is going to do or would ever do. But Henry Burris getting our Lifetime Achievement Award, our very first Lifetime Achievement Award here with the Piffies. Congrats, Hank. I love Henry Burris so much, man.
We got to get him on the show. We really do.
Remind me, I'll text him because he's not coaching anymore. Right?
Yeah, we were close the one time, and then
yeah. Well, let's do the last thing we'll do. This will be a pretty quick one as we continue our free agent previews. This is presented by Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. We only have 2 positions to look at. Linebackers will be next week. That'll be a pretty quick one because there's only a handful of them on the rosters. This one is our running backs and fullbacks.
We kind of covered it.
It's all he's the free agent. He's the only one that's a free agent. The other guys. So I think the 3 of us anyway are fairly confident in saying that AJ Ouellette's probably not coming back in 2026. So
I'm fairly confident in that, yes.
So who is going to replace him? Okay, well, let's take a look at what we have. Well, the fullbacks are Albert Awachi and Morgan Runge. They're special teams players. They're going to come in and block.
I think we need to sign another one. I think we need 3.
2 isn't enough fullbacks for you?
No. And let's start all 3 of them.
Sure. So we look at, obviously, there's Thomas Bertrand-Houdon, Canadian. To start him, he would have to be the 8th or 9th Canadian starter because there's no Canadian backup for him, really. So he can't be part of the 7. He can be an extra starter, and that's fine. I'm not sure if he's a guy that I'd want to be the full-time starter, but I'd like to see him get more touches for sure, more of a timeshare role.
Sean Thomas Erlington is a free agent if they want another Canadian running back that has some live fire.
He started out last year pretty decently.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying if that is a path they want to go, they possibly could look that way.
And yet another Tommy or Thomas on the roster.
Yes.
That's worked out really well for us so far.
And a Sean.
Right?
He's got the 2. He's got 2.
He's literally born to be a Rider.
Winning a Piffy for sure next year if he signs with the Riders. And the other backups that we have on the roster right now, Mario Anderson, who we saw very limited work of last year, did like what we saw, especially against Winnipeg, 3 carries, 2 touchdowns in the Labor Day Classic.
I like those numbers. If we can keep up that ratio.
I would have given him the ball like 45 times that game.
Yeah.
Right?
So right now, I think he would have the inside track, just being kind of that next guy up. And the other guy, one of the guys who helped win a Piffy Award for Marcus's, is Marcus Major Jr., who the Riders signed in the offseason here. Was also drafted in the UFL. Greg, we talked about that last week or the week before. I don't remember which it was.
Weeks ago, I think it was, yeah.
But that's who they have. So will the Riders be active in free agency, or is this something that you're just going to kind of recruit and maybe bring one more guy in and may the best man win?
I'd be surprised if they don't go after AJ, if they don't go out and look at a James Butler or a Greg Bell or somebody. I don't know if you can go into the season next year with Mario Anderson as your guy. Solid in limited touches, but we haven't seen enough to put your hopes on him.
But as we discussed a few weeks ago with Remember That Guy, we went from Corey Sheets to Anthony Allen, and we didn't take a step back that year. I think running back, especially with this offensive line, if I'm going after Butler or Bell, I'm going after Bell because while Butler's probably the more dynamic running back, he's also the oldest running back in the league right now. I think you go for Bell. If not, why not find the next guy? Like behind this offensive line, you probably could get your Mario Andersons, your Major Juniors, or who knows, maybe another guy they bring into camp. Corey Sheets wasn't Corey Sheets until until you got some live fire. Yeah, like find the next guy.
Yeah, save a little bit of money here. Spend the money elsewhere. Go with a younger guy who has the potential to be here for 5-6 years, whatever it is. So, yeah, not a long free agent preview because it's literally just a handful of players. But there you go. There's the running backs and fullbacks. And with that, we have one more Piffy to give away. Greg, do you want to do this or do you want me to do this?
I think I want to do this one.
All right. Well, presenting our last award of the evening and the year for the Piffies. Greg, please take it away.
This is possibly the most important award. This is for the best Rider podcast named after a one-eyed pilot. I'm looking at the nominees and it's the Piffles podcast.
What?
I know. What?
We did it.
Oh,
I mean,
I 1 second. I got one thing to play.
Default! Woohoo! The two sweetest words in the English language. Default, default, default.
where did you get that thing? Does this mean we get to go to space?
I hope so.
And the winner is this inanimate rod. Actually, that would have been the perfect time to have an inanimate rod.
It would be.
Yeah. It's not like there's a lot of competition because there's not. There you go.
it's close. I got.
Put the medal around that. 2 and Out would be the closest one, 2 and Out podcast, but they're more of a CFL one run by Rider fans, with Sheldon and Travis, of course. Great podcast. Please give that a listen. 2 great people as well too. Those guys are great guys. But they cover the CFL. They do the whole CFL. We focus more on the Riders, and there is no more.
There's no more fan podcasts. And don't get me wrong, there's the Rider Rumbling that the Leader Post puts out.
Daryl Davis. You think Daryl Davis is a fan of the Riders?
I said there's no more fan podcasts. I was about to say, like, there's the media, like the media ones. Like you got the Rider Rumblings with Taylor and Daryl. I got to hop on with Murray and Rob when they used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Green Zone has a podcast, as does the Sports Cage. But this is
really
5 fans, 4 fans. Absolutely, by the chat buzzing right now. Once again, this is just us joking around because honestly, the entire premise of this show is because we saw someone give themselves an award and we thought it was funny, so we wanted to do it ourselves.
What can we do to pass some time and look stupid doing it? Let's host an award show and give ourselves the final award.
Yeah.
I still say the greatest thing Ferlin ever did for this show was give it its name. I still remember that discussion. Just don't call it something stupid like the Rider Report.
Not knowing at the time there was a podcast called The Rider Report.
The Rider Report.
Yeah.
And that led to questions of what is Piffles?
It still
in
does.
Substantially less friendly language.
I'm still blown away by actual Rider fans that I have to explain what Piffles means. Like, you would think they wouldn't understand what Taylor's Field was.
But that's like
That's on the team at this point. They don't give him any love anymore. You never hear it. He's not part of Rider lore at this point. So the fans you got, that 20, 30, 40s crowd, they're starting to grow up. They didn't know him. They don't know that name. They don't know Taylor Field. They've been fans since 2015 when they moved over here. And it's been Mosaic Stadium before that for how long?
Yeah, I suppose.
And you're talking about a guy that was in the 40s, right? So that's 80 years ago.
Well, and Well, actually, technically speaking, the Foo Fighters are honoring him by still calling it Mosaic Stadium at Taylor Field on all of their tour swag.
Always liked Dave Grohl.
The Piffies, it's done, fellas.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fun.
it. That's all we got for this year. Adds a lot more to the show. We should probably do this when there's not like free agent signings coming up.
But it's award season. You have to do it during award season.
Exactly.
There
So
was no better time than 2 weeks before the Ed Herbie window, because that's when things are going to get a little fun around here.
let's see the celebs dress better than us.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Couldn't see it. Did you know I could have got? You can get monocles on Amazon in 24 hours. Not saying I looked at them, but you know.
Making notes for next year, though.
Oh yeah.
Next
Next year's
monocles, canes. We're gonna have
next
some
year's
fun.
Piffies. We're gonna have a musical guest. We're gonna have guest stars. Maybe we'll have actually people accepting awards. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be great. Reach out to some of the players ahead of time.
That means we actually got to get physical awards made.
This is going to cost a lot of money.
Give me a design. I'll print it in this thing.
If you're a company and want to sponsor next year Piffies, give us a shout.
Our doors are always open. But we will leave it there with all the Rider news and a dumb, stupid award show. So thanks for listening. Obviously, wherever you get your podcast, watching wherever you get the show. Piffles Podcast, of course, is brought to you by our great friends at Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sass Drive in Regina. Special thanks, of course, to Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas for their support, making everything on this show possible. And thank you, everybody watching, listening. We talked about it. We're just fans. You guys are fans. We're fans. We're all here just to talk about Rider football, stuff we love. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that.
350 episodes. That is at least 300 episodes more than after I joined that I thought this thing would last.
349 more than I thought it would last.
The first show did good for numbers. It was the second show that didn't.
We do need to bring back the rant segment.
Oof.
That's like the entire show sometimes.
But
good days.
We will leave it there. Thank you. We'll leave it with Ghost Behind Your Mind by Tyler Gilbert.
Thank you for being such a big supporter and fan of the CFL and myself personally.